All right, so let's continue our discussion of this Joe Biden-Ukraine conspiracy theory, which is unfortunately getting way more attention than it deserves, given that it is completely and easily debunked, particularly when the real story here, it's a serious real story, is that Donald Trump has made yet another attempt, or really a demand in this case, to collude with a foreign power. This time it's Ukraine. Trump is withholding hundreds of millions of dollars in military aid if and until such time as Ukraine smears Joe Biden in order to help Trump win re-election in 2020. So Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump's lawyer, went on Fox News. And usually when I tell you that there was some kind of pushback on Fox News or some counter narrative or some grain of truth, it's Shepard Smith or Chris Wallace or one-time Neil Cavuto. This time, it's actually Fox News reporter John Roberts, who I think is formerly of CNN, or maybe it was CBS or ABC. I don't remember. In any case, John Roberts interviewed Rudy Giuliani on Fox's Sunday program. And to his credit, John Roberts not only did a little devil's advocate stuff with Rudy, where he said, you know, this doesn't look appropriate for you to go to Ukraine looking for dirt on Biden and getting people to smear him. John Roberts actually holds firm and a little bit presses Rudy Giuliani. Let's take a look.
Over there to investigate alleged Ukrainian interference in the 2016 election.
I can't defend a client.
All right. So when did this morph into an investigation of Joe Biden and Hunter Biden? And is it appropriate for you as a representative of the president to be going to Ukraine and finding dirt on Joe Biden and or his son to use politically in 2020?
Well, that's the way you characterize it. It's certainly appropriate.
That's the way it appears to line up.
No, it doesn't.
You went there for one thing, you found out something else, and that's what you've been digging on since.
The pro-Biden media lines it up. This began with someone coming to me saying, this information can clear your client about the corruption in Ukraine between Ukraine, the Democratic Party, the ambassador, and the FBI agent who investigated the case.
But then it morphs into Biden.
Inextricably combined, because Biden had the guy fired, Shokin. By the way, his statement's on record. The lazy press could go read it. Don't have to listen to me. There are 3 videotapes of prosecutors on record, available on here.
So the immediate reaction is that Fox News should be embarrassed merely to have aired this. And Giuliani shouldn't even be allowed on these shows anymore, since all he does is lie. But okay, that probably was not John Roberts' call, given the expectations and the setting. This isn't bad, but you know that you've reached new lows in terms of what you're doing and the absurdity of what you're saying when you're a Republican and during a Fox News interview, you're challenged, and not just to get some symbolic amount of disagreement on the record, but you get an actual challenge, at least to the extent that we would expect to see on Fox News. In a sense, it's relieving, but it's also horrifying because it's hard to imagine things getting so bad as a normal state of affairs for the presidential administration that even Fox News feels obligated to push back against the absolutely absurd, unbelievable claims and actions of Rudy Giuliani. Now, there's a fair criticism to be made of John Roberts here. And the criticism is asking whether it's appropriate for Rudy to do this doesn't even remotely get to the heart of the problem, which is that this should be criminal if it is not. And if it's not criminal because American law didn't even account for the possibility of a president doing what Donald Trump and Giuliani are doing for the benefit of Donald Trump's reelection campaign in 2020. Threatening to do and then actually withholding military aid to Ukraine, if and until they smear Joe Biden, is so outside of what anyone imagined a president might do that, as Renato Mariotti told us in his Politico piece over the weekend, it could actually be difficult to get Trump on bribery or corruption because this is so high level in terms of the international nature of it that American law may not even actually cover what it is that has taken place here. The other thing that I've been thinking about the last couple of days is, aside from whether the Trump administration calculated that copping to elements of what is being alleged publicly may be better than the full truth getting out, which we may never know, consider how many countries have had similar conversations with Donald Trump that we've simply not found out about, right? Who else is Donald Trump extorting internationally, implicitly or explicitly, that we haven't heard about. And I think the iceberg analogy works well here. With an iceberg, 90% of it, or some large percentage, is under the waterline. You only see the tip of the iceberg. That's where the phrase comes from. In this administration, I can only be led to believe by the actions of the administration that the same iceberg analogy applies. In the interim, at the micro level, okay, it was good that John Roberts asked at least a few pressing questions to Rudy Giuliani.